Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Promoted Sandra. If this is the first time you are coming across my channel, thank you very much for stopping, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much for coming back. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to draft a basic bodice pattern. So this is going to be well detailed and beginners friendly, so please do well to pay attention to what I'm going to be sharing with you in this video. This is going to be the updated version of the one I created before, so this one is going to be a little bit different from the one I created before and well detailed as well. So I'm going to be making a lot of bustier, corsets and tops this year, so I'm going to be making use of this particular basic bodice pattern. So that's why you need to pay attention to what I'm going to be sharing with you, because you are going to need it as well. Here on this channel, I do everything related to pattern drafting, cutting and sewing tutorials, DIYs. So if this is something you're interested in, then keep up watching. And please, if you end up enjoying this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and also share this video with your co-fashion designers. And we are on our way to 40k subscribers. Please do it to subscribe if you are yet to subscribe. So don't forget to comment and like. This really helps my algorithm a lot. So let us dive into today's video without talking too much. Yeah. Here are the things needed to make your basic bodice pattern. You're going to be needing your tape, your scissors, your marker, a straight ruler, and a French curve. So if you don't have a French curve, you can go ahead and make use of any other stuff or a freehand as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep this aside. So I'll go ahead and mark a straight line across my pattern paper, which is going to be serving as a starting guide. So from this point I just marked, I'll mark my bust point, which is 10 inches. I'll mark my under bust 13.5 inches, my half length 60 inches, and I will mark the top length. Okay, so I'm going to be using the remaining part of this pattern paper as the top length. Okay, so once I was done, I'll go ahead and mark a straight line across this point like this, just like as you can see me doing. So once I was done, I'll go ahead and label it bust point, under bust, waistline, and top length or hem length. So this side here, this part here, is going to be serving as the center front for this tutorial. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 14 divided by 2 is 7. I'll go ahead and mark 7 like this, and from that point I will come down by half an inch, which is going to be serving as the shoulder slope. I will take the wideness of the neckline, which is 3 inches that I'm marking. I will come down by 3.5 inches like this. Then I'll go ahead and use my French curve and connect the 2 points together like this. So once I was done connecting it, I will connect the shoulder slope like this. Now to get our armhole depth, what I normally do is I will go ahead and divide my bust by 6. Whatever I have, I will add 1.5 inches to it. So my bust is 36 divided by 6 is going to give me 6 inches, plus 1.5 inches is going to give me 7.5 inches. So I'll go ahead and mark it on this point like this. I'll mark a point here, then I'll go ahead and mark a straight line across it. I will label it the chest line. So that is how to get your chest line or your armhole depth. So I will mark my shoulder measurement on my chest line, which is 7 inches. So I just want the line to be straight, that's why, nothing else. So I'll mark a straight line from the shoulder to my chest line. So I'll place my tape on my armhole like this. I will divide it into 2 by folding my tape into 2. That is how I normally get the midpoint of my armhole. I will mark a point there. So from that point I will go in by half an inch. Okay, this is to remove bust gaping. Then I will divide my bust by 4. I will mark it on my chest line. So you are going to be dividing all your measurements by 4. So I will go ahead and connect the 3 points from the shoulder. I will connect it with a straight ruler from the shoulder to that point. Then I will use my French curve to connect the remaining part like this. I hope you guys are seeing what I'm doing. So I will come to my bust point. I will divide my nipple to nipple measurement by 2. I will mark a point there. So my nipple to nipple measurement is 8. 8 divided by 2 is 4. I will mark 4 inches on the bust point, on the waistline, and also at the top length. So I'll go ahead and mark a straight line across. I'm going to be leaving a picture on the screen on how to take your nipple to nipple measurements. Okay. So I will come to the waistline, this point here. I will take my dart from this point. I will go in by 1 inch. I will mark 1 inch inward. I will mark 1 inch outward like this. So if your bust is not too big, go in by half an inch. Then I will come to the top length. I will mark 1 inch upward. So if the distance between your waistline and your top length is like up to 6 inches, you will go up by 2 inches instead of going up by 1 inch. So the distance between the waistline and the top length for my pattern paper is not too long. It's like about 4 inches. That's why I went up by just 1 inch. Okay, so I will come to my bust point. I will come down by half an inch. Then I'll go ahead and connect a slant line from that half an inch to meet the 1 inch I marked at the waistline like this. I hope you guys can see how I am placing my ruler and marking it. Then once I'm done marking it, I will also do the same thing for the down line. Okay, just like as you can see me doing. So once I was done with that, I'll go ahead and input my basic bodice measurement. I will divide my bust by 4. I will mark the point there. I will come to the waistline. I will divide my waist measurement by 4. I will mark the point there as well. Then I will measure the dart I took. So what I have there is 2 inches. I will replace the 2 inches. Then I will come to the hip line. I will divide my hip by 4. I will mark the point there. So whatever measurements you are working with, divide it by 4. So once I was done, go ahead and connect it like this, just like as you can see me doing. So I will come to the chest line. I will add 1 inch to my bust measurements before connecting it. Okay, so this is not the sewing allowance. I just wanted to have shape because of the dart I took at the waistline. So I just want the shape to come out. So if your shape fits in, no problem. So I will go ahead and blend the waistline, then extend the armhole like this. So this is how my pattern paper look like once I was done drafting it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is to take my side dart, just like as you can see me doing. So I will place my tape on the chest line and come down by 2 inches. So to determine what you're going to minus from the side dart, this is how to take your measurements. Okay, so you are going to measure from your shoulder to the waistline at the front, then measure from your shoulder to the waistline at the back. So for me, from my shoulder to the waistline at the front is 60 inches and for the back is 40 inches. So the difference is just 2 inches. Okay, so the difference between the front and the back is 2 inches. I will go ahead and mark that 2 inches here like this, and I will connect the point from this point here down to this bust point like this. Okay, I hope you guys saw how I placed my ruler. Then once I was done, I'll go ahead and cut it out. So for you, yours might be 3 inches or 1.5 inch or 1 inch. Just go ahead and measure the difference between your front and the back, and whatever that is left is what you mark there. So I'll go ahead and label it front. So this is the front pattern. So once I was done drafting the front, the next thing I'm going to be doing is to draft the back pattern, and this is a fresh pattern paper for the back. The first thing I'm going to be doing is to mark 1 inch inward at the back pattern for the zipper allowance. So I'm just going to go ahead and turn it around like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and place the front pattern paper on the back like this. So mind you, I am placing it on the line I marked. So I will place it, then I will mark the neckline like this on the back pattern paper. Mark the neckline of yours at the back pattern paper. Then I will mark the armhole line like this on the back, and I will also mark the chest line like this on the back. So this is where I'm going to be stopping for the back. I will remove the front pattern paper. I will go ahead and mark a straight line across these points I just marked like this. To connect the neckline, I will come down by 1 inch like this at this point. So I'll go ahead and connect that 1 inch to the point I marked before like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my shoulder measurement, and I'm going to be taking that measurement starting from the line I marked okay, so which is 7 inches. So I will come down by half an inch. So I'll go ahead and connect a slant line like this. So I'll go ahead and label this part here. This is my armhole, which is the chest line, and this is the bust point. I will come to the chest line. I will measure my shoulder measurement, which is 7 inches. So whatever I did for the front is what I'm going to be doing for the back as well. Just go ahead and connect it. So once I was done connecting it, I'm just going to go ahead and measure from my shoulder to my back waistline. Okay, like I'm going to be taking the waistline for the back. So I already showed you guys how to take the back waistline. So from my shoulder to my waistline at the back is 40 inches. So this is different from the front waistline. So that's why I said this is an updated version of the previous video I showed you guys on how to take a basic bodice measurement. So I'll go ahead and mark that 40 inches here like this. So yours might be different. Maybe yours is 15 or 16. Go ahead and mark it. Then I'll go ahead and mark a straight line like this. I will label it waistline. Now to get the hip point, I'm just going to measure the distance between the waistline and the hip line on the front pattern paper like this. So I'll place my tape on it like this. I will measure it. So what I have here is 4 inches. That is the difference. Okay, so I will come to the back waistline. I will measure that 4 inches like this. Then I will mark a straight line across. I hope you guys understand what I just said. So I'll go ahead and label it hip line or top length or hemline. So I will come to my chest line. I will divide my bust by 4. I will connect the armhole like this. Can you see how I am placing my ruler or my French curve? I will connect it like this. Then I will take my nipple to nipple measurement, which is 4 inches. I will mark it on the chest line and also the top length like this. I will mark a straight line across. So I will come to the top length or the hemline. I will come up by 1 inch. I will just mark 1 inch upward. Then I will come to the waistline. I will mark in half an inch on both sides for the darts like this. So what I'm going to be doing is to connect from the chest line to that half an inch on both sides like this, and I also connect it to the hemline like this. So once I was done connecting it, this is how it's going to look like. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is to input my body measurement. I already added my bust measurement on the chest line before, so I will just come to the waistline. I will divide my waist measurement by 4. I will mark a point there, and I will also replace the dart. What I have here is 1 inch. I will just replace it 1 inch like this. Then I will divide the hip measurement by 4. I will mark a point there. So I will come to the chest line. I will also add 1 inch, just like what I did for the front. So this is it. Then when you are cutting your fabric, you can go ahead and add all your sewing allowance and whatever. Okay, so for this pattern we did not add sewing allowance, we only added zip allowance. So this is it for the back pattern. So the last thing we are going to be doing, I will show you. So first of all, I'll go ahead and cut it out like this. Okay, just like as you can see me doing. So this is the front and the back. I will go ahead and label the back just to know the difference. So I will go ahead and shade at the part I'm going to be cutting off. So I'm going to be cutting this part off. I will shade it. So the part you see me shading is the part I'm going to be cutting off. Okay. So this is how to draft a basic bodice pattern for beginners. Okay, please, if this tutorial was really helpful, don't forget to like and comment. This really helped my algorithm a lot. If you want other fashion designers to see this and also learn from it, do well to comment. If you have any question, feel free to ask me. I will definitely respond. So don't also forget to turn on post notification if you want to see things like this on my channel. Follow me up on Instagram at official promoted Sandra, on TikTok and Facebook at promoted Sandra. So see you guys on my next video. Bye.